Greetings, everyone. It is I, Josh, here to bring you a brand new video, and today I'm going to be talking about the new Halloween film that comes out next year and my thoughts on it. My thoughts are simple. As most people are hearing and reading and also watching John Carpenter's interviews where he's suggesting this will be the last Halloween film. We all know that might not be true because, again, if you can make an interesting Halloween film again, like I did like the remake for certain aspects of it. Like, I mean, I knew what I was getting into when I saw Rob Zombie, but I just love how there's, these videos floating around saying Halloween is destroyed, Friday the 13th is destroyed, and yet they're making more. In fact, they were making one this year, but unfortunately, that was canceled. So I don't know if they're going to ever make a Friday the 13th movie again, or if they're just completely done with it. If they do make another one, please, for the love of God, make it interesting again. I thought the 2009 remake of Friday the 13th was pretty good. The fact that they made Jason a little bit smarter and, putting traps and, ensnaring people was perfect. Everyone else is like, I hate that they turn him into like Rambo-like in a way. But I honestly liked it. I do like remakes in general, as long as it's not trying to be like the original film, because, again, the original film has already been done. And if you just try to retread the same storyline, it gets kind of old and boring. So try to do some stuff with it. Make it interesting. I mean, I do like the Fog remake that John Carpenter executive produced, but the fact was, I didn't like it was a PG-13 horror film. Even though there is an unrated cut where it brings back the violence or a little bit of the gore. But the PG-13 really wasn't necessary. I mean, the original was R, so it should have stayed R. And I loved how they twisted it. You didn't quite understand. When you first watch it, you're like, I didn't see that coming. Because in the original, Elizabeth is sort of a stranger who came to the island. And the other people were either direct descendants or related to the people that founded the island. And, of course, they killed a bunch of leapers. But, I don't mind PG-13 horror if it's meant to be PG-13, but there was something about Fog that could have stayed R. I mean, I'm not talking about the gross out moments. I'm just saying that it should have been R because the original was R. I've never seen too many remakes where it was PG-13. I haven't seen many of those. And it's probably a good thing. Other than The Boogeyman. The Boogeyman series started with PG-13. But I just have to say that, it's like I said, if this is going to be the last film, then it is going to be the last film. And there's nothing you or I can do about it. Unless they bring him back, which hopefully if they do, or at least bring back Halloween again, they do something, again, interesting. Because, to me, when a movie is not that interesting, it's not worth watching. But, again, I laugh at the fact that when people are saying how Halloween or Friday the 13th was destroyed by a studio, or Halloween was destroyed by Rob Zombie, if Rob Zombie destroyed it, completely destroyed Halloween, do you really think studios would say, yeah, we're going to make another one? And, of course, we kept hearing Halloween 3. It was going to follow Halloween 2, and I would love to see a wraparound story on that. I would actually love to see a resolve to the series. I'd like to see when they do end it, if they do end it in this movie, that they do it justice. Because I'm tired of hearing, this is the last one, and then here comes another one, Don't tell me it's the last film unless you're 100% sure it's going to be the very last film. Because, again, when you look at these films, they don't seem to end. And, yeah. Also, I want to recommend some channels, a channel that I've been watching and supporting. It's called Haddonfield News. So go check him out. He's pretty cool. He did have a goof. And I just want to point this out. That's not Christopher Lee. That's Peter Cushing. Which, by the way, both Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee were approached by John Carpenter to play Dr. Sam Loomis. They both said no. I guess they were getting tired of being typecast in horror roles. So basically at that time, I think they were trying to get out of the horror genre. Because, Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee played Dracula and Peter Cushing played Van Helsing, his arch nemesis, So basically that was pretty fun in the Hammer series. And while both of them are gone, Christopher Lee was probably the only actor who approached John Carpenter and apologized for not being in his movie. Because I think when he saw the budget, that pretty much turned him off. Like, I've been doing enough low-budget horror films that I want to do something big. And while low-budget films do get big over time, and the fact that Halloween is one of the biggest franchise next to Friday the 13th, which Friday the 13th actually has more films than Halloween does, and Nightmare on Elm Street combined. But the fact is, if you can bring back Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, or any of those characters, if you can bring them back, please, for the love of God, please, just make sure that when you do it, you do something interesting with them. Because it's like I said, my general complaint about remakes and reboots are when they're not trying to make their own movie, make their own vision. Because again, it's like, I just want to retread the original. I don't care if fans love it or hate it. I love remakes, like I said, but my biggest complaint would be, if you don't have anything interesting on paper and you're just trying to be like the original, stop what you're doing and either fix it. Because, like, sometimes studios have put out some very not inspiring type movies. Like, you want to see something that inspires them. And while Danny McBride and I can't remember the director's name right now, my mind just went blank, they're both fans of Halloween. It's just like Rob Zombie. He was a fan of Halloween, and a lot of people are like, well, if he's a fan of Halloween, why would he remake it? Because he knew that the studios would have went ahead and did it anyways. Because eventually, originally it was going to be Halloween 9, and it was going to bring back Stephen Doyle, who was adopted by Tommy Doyle, and he married Kara, and her son, Danny. So, basically, they were going to bring him back, and that would have been interesting to see, but after Halloween 8, which really wasn't the best in the series, like, yeah, he killed Laurie Strode. Okay, time to move on, but yet, here we go again. And then, now they're not, and a lot of people already know this, they're no longer brother and sister, which is confusing. And this movie is going to pretend that none of the other Halloween sequels happen. None of them. Halloween 2 doesn't exist. So that, you can just forget about that. And, it kind of complicates the story when you make Michael Myers and Laurie Strode related. Like, for instance, I remember, I think it was in the book, shortly after Michael Myers was locked up, both his mom and dad were killed in a car accident shortly after. So there's no way Laurie Strode could have been even remotely related to Michael Myers. Maybe a cousin, I'm not sure, but, making them brother and sister kind of complicated the story. And then you got, Jamie Lloyd, the daughter of Laurie Strode, and, it's like H2O completely ignores that 4, 5, and 6 happened, so it was like Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, and that was it. So it could have been like the third Halloween film. But anyways, before I go, I just want to say I love everybody. I hope everyone had a happy Halloween. I know I was actually pretty sick on Halloween. And I wasn't feeling good yesterday either, so I just stayed home. I didn't go out and scare anybody. But alright, everyone. I love you all. I will talk to y'all later. Hit the like button, sub to my channel, and write down below, tell me what your thoughts on the next Halloween film is. I love you all. Talk to you later.